Hello again, it's Tom here and welcome back to Magic Woodworking. So today I'm looking at a couple of products from a company called BangGood. Now BangGood is a Chinese company with their own website and they cover everything from sports equipment to woodworking tools, all kinds of things, a link in the description. And basically they've asked me to do a review of their products. Now normally when it comes to Chinese sort of cheaper products, I'm not interested. But in this particular case, this is the exception to the rule. Because from what I'm seeing, this stuff is extremely well made. Now, I'm not saying this because I'm getting paid. I'm not being paid in any way. BangGood has sent me these products for free to look at, but they are not paying me. This is an unbiased review of what I think they're like. So, if you'd like to see that review, stay right there. And let's go through this together. Right, so to kick off with, here is the plane from, I'm going to say it's called Hundui. I'm probably butchering that name, so sorry if I've got it wrong. It's a edging plane for approximately £50. I know it sounds like a lot of money, but it does feel really well made. It feels like cast aluminum or aluminium. It has additional blades stored under there. When you unscrew this, there's an extra blade under there. Each blade has 4 sides, so you've actually got 12 blades. So you've got a blade at the back, another blade there, and then one stored under there as well. As you can see, these are for the fine adjustments up and down, all moving in millimeter increments. As you can see, they move really sweet as well, just finger turn. So that blade there just does a standard 45-degree angle. So you put it on the edge of wood, go along, and depending on how many times you go through, you get a 45-degree angle. And on the other end, I don't know how well you can see it, it's got a concave. So as you do the planing, you will end up with a little ball nose. I would say take it in increments, small increments, because if you go too deep too quick, I think it might rip the timber. But overall, for something that they sent me, that's a very nice product. Would I buy it? I think it's a little bit expensive for what that is, but it is very well made. So if you're doing a lot of edging, yeah, I think you definitely would buy that. And it's a nice hard carry case too. Now onto the Hinge jig. So this is made by Enjoy Wood. This is set up to do standard cabinet hinges or kitchen hinges, you might call them. This is a Hafey one, but they're all pretty much the same. So the way this works is you have 2 screw-in removable stoppers. You can put them however you want to. Presently I've got this set at 5mm, so when this presses up against your stock, it will set it 5mm in from the edge. Also, you have another one here, so if you want to mark down the correct height from the top of your door, it puts it in the right position, and equally you got one at the other end. So let's change that around now. It's made of what feels like cast aluminium or aluminum, all anodized in a nice colour, much like the company Woodpecker. So I think they're trying to copy them, but it's a lot cheaper. It's about £35. And the way this works is you push up against your material, and as you can see, that's locked in place. It isn't going anywhere. Once you've got that locked on your cabinet that you're working on, they supply the cutter and stop. I just roughly set it in place. You then place that into the jig, like so. Turn it, it locks it in position, and again, as you can see, it's going to fall out. You drill your hole. Once you're finished with that, turn it, unlock it, take it out, and then this goes into the same hole once again. So again, it's a tight fit, so I have to persevere with it. There you go. They supply a 1.5mm drill to drill the 2 holes, which lines up perfectly with the holes in your hinge. Now I did see someone else's YouTube channel where he was demonstrating how to do this, and it was kind of special, or he was kind of special. He put this in the wrong way around and then went, oh, the holes don't line up. Like, dude, it's actually got the measurements written on there. You just have to put it so you can read it and put it the correct way. In this particular case, for a standard hinge, it's the 48mm markings. So they supply also the 2 spanners you need to adjust the locking mechanism. And then finally, they also supply a dust port which goes on there, so when you actually drill in it, you put your dust extractor in and it removes the chipping. So all in all, this is a really nice tool. For £35, I think it's that, 35, 36 pounds, would I buy it? Yes, as long as it performs like it looks like it's going to. This, I believe, is a very good product. If you're enjoying this video and you'd like to support me, please give it a thumbs up, or better yet, subscribe down there. It really helps the channel, but it also helps promote it through YouTube to people like yourselves who haven't seen my videos before. Anyway, enough about me, let's get back to this review. Okay, so to kick off with, I'm going to use the plane on the 45-degree angle side, so the straight side. I've started off at 1mm and I will gradually increase as I do each cut. So as you can see, that's a nice 45-degree angle, and I've took off about 5mm across that angle. So bore nose side. Okay. Again, small increments. I will say the blade does feel nice and sharp. Right, so I've actually took that pass and left like a little square, as you can well see. But obviously you could have stopped before then, just so it's just a bore nose, but like you can actually go a bit further and create it like a moulding, which I didn't realise you could do, which is actually quite a nice little feature. Yeah, I actually quite like that. So now let's have a look at the hinge jig. So as I stated before, you have 2 positive stops on the bottom. Slip that up to your material. When you're happy, do up the clamp, and it's held nice and tightly. Next, take your cutter, slip it into the recess, turn it till it locks in position. As you can see now, I've fitted the dust extractor port. If you have one, slip your dust extractor in. Next, connect your drill. Like so. Turn the extractor, let's see how this works. Well, the extractor removed most of the material. The cutter does cut very nicely though, I will give it that. So, once you've drilled your hole and you're happy, take your hole jig, place it in the hole. Make sure you figure out which holes you need to use for your particular hinge before you drill the holes. You might want to set a sort of 15mm depth. I'm just going to eyeball it. Take it out. Take your hinge. The holes are lined up lovely. And finally, zip the screws in. And there you go. Perfect depth. Nice and parallel. It doesn't get any easier than that. That's one of the best jigs I've used for hinges ever. So, in conclusion, are the tools from BangGood any good? Short answer, yeah. I'm quite surprised how good they are, in fact. The plane. I would give this a 7 out of 10. It's very well made. It's nice and chunky. It is a limited market for people who are going to want to use it. Most people just use a block plane. But for those people who are doing 45-degree angles day in, day out and little ball noses, it's a perfect bit of kit. But I do feel it's a bit of a niche market for people who are going to buy this. Plus, the reason I'm giving it 7 out of 10, not any higher, is just because it's a little bit expensive. I think if it was more sort of the 25, 30 pound bracket, I'd give it an 8 or a 9 out of 10. It's just, yeah, a little bit expensive. As for the hinge jig, this thing's awesome. I've used lots, Craig, Trend, and a few others, brands which I can't even remember the names of. This surpasses them in every which way. Build quality, ease of use. Yeah, this is, I'm going to give it a 9.5. I'm not going to say it's a 10 out of 10. I'm going to say it's a 9.5 out of 10 product. There's a couple of small things. Firstly, after using it a few times, when you have the cutter locked in position, it can slowly start working back and come unlocked. Minor thing. Other than that, if I wanted to be pedantic, the only other thing I'd say, it would be nice if they supplied something so you could drill the holes onto the cabinet as well as the door. But most hinge jigs don't have that anyway. But with that said, I'm going to do this as part 1 of Chinese tools, because I'm expecting to do a few more videos for BangGood, because I'm quite impressed with their stuff. I hope you are too. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks. Bye bye.